Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Desi. I want to do a quick recap for today, and let's get right into it and go over what I was looking at this morning. So, before open, what I noticed was that we had these relative equal highs here on NQ, and I was overall bullish because we were, like I said, we were bouncing off the 4 hour gap. We had or from last week, we're coming off of a weekly gap and a daily gap as well. And I was waiting for us to take longs. I was telling chat live that no longs or no shorts, only longs or no trade for me, right? It was Monday news, so we're waiting for that. And we'll continue moving down pretty much all morning until right around that 7:30 area. And I want to go over what I was looking at on the higher time frame, right? So if you went on the 4 hour, which we're kind of going after, and this is what I posted for my weekly like outlook thesis. I was like, we are going to come down into this order block and get a good reaction off of this. It was Monday, so I didn't expect a continuation of expansion to the downside. I was overall bullish, like I said, because I do think we're going to end up running these highs once again right here on NQ this week. So coming into the week, I was just bullish, right? Like I said, this is a 4 hour gap that we were coming out of. And then we also had this 4 hour OB and also this 4 hour FEG that was getting ran through. And while this was happening, a lot of people were like, oh, it's going to inverse. And I was like telling everyone, this 4 hour candle has a lot of time on it. Just be patient and wait to see how this plays out down here. Don't rush to short this, especially at this bottom here. So, what I talk about on my Twitter all the time and in our lives or whatever, higher time frame PD arrays such as this order block and this FEG, and then you go on to the lower time frame, find your inverse gaps, and then take your moves up until our area of buy side for the day. So let's go on the 5-minute chart here and let's see what I was looking at. So today gave a lot of entries, multiple entries throughout the day to actually take along. And the first one that I recognized was this 5-minute inverse gap here, right? Like I said, higher time frame PD array. This was getting out of that OB. And that also going back into that 4 hour FEG, because like I said, it was all one wick. All these moves right here on the 5-minute were just a 4 hour wick while it's happening. So I was I was still bullish on the day, and I was like, okay, I want to take longs, and this is a good area to go long this 5-minute gap right here inverses, and it did. ES was doing the same thing, so both of the indices right here were correlating, so it was a high probability trade, and then we moved higher. But that's not the only entry you could have gotten, right? That if you don't want to take this risky of an entry, you could have even waited for this 5-minute gap right here at 7:15, right? You guys can see that we previously traded into this 5-minute gap, and we rejected and made it lower, and then when we came back into it, you guys can see that as soon as we flipped this inverse, we had a pretty nice and smooth run up until our area of liquidity, and we consolidated here, which I'll go over as well. So this is your second entry that you could have on your inverse fair value gap if you did not, take the first one. And in terms of areas of take profit, you could use the high within a PD array, which is this one right here, a high within an order block as your internal liquidity, and your external liquidity could have been these equal highs relative equal highs that I was mentioning earlier that happened before our market opened. And like I said, ES was doing the same thing as NQ at this point, and everything happens with liquidity. We had obviously all the liquidity to this side. Overnight session, everything got swept, and then it was just us kind of reacting out of that 4 hour order block that I was mentioning, right? The tap into the higher time frame PD array gave me the utmost confidence that we're going to move up, especially when we started flipping these gaps as inverse. Even if you take this one right here, right? Even if you take this one or this one right here, you had a very, very good trade regardless. Because, like I said, it was pretty volatile today for a Monday, and these ran, very nicely. So, that is the second entry. Now, let's say you were even late and you're waiting for the PM session, right? You're waiting for the PM session, and you're just waiting for some type of moves to actually take. Now we're for sure bullish, right? We come into the PM session, we understand that we are bullish, and now it's just going to be, let's see if we can find another entry. And this is another trade that I mentioned in the Discord. I was like, this is a very good and high probability setup to take towards the end of the day. So let's go here on the 1 minute time frame. 1 minute. This is a low that we created right before in this order block right here, right? We had a 1 minute OB. This is a low within the OB, and it got swept, and now I was looking for the market to give us an opportunity for longs. And while I was chopping, I was like, okay, what are we rejecting off of? There's nothing on the 1 minute that really shows me that we're rejecting from like a major area. So when I went in the 5 minute, I understood, okay, there is a fair value gap here at 10:20 Pacific time. And this, I was like, okay, once this goes, it'll be a very, very clean trade to the upside for this move into our final area of liquidity, is external area right here. So, like I said, Monday no expansion. So I was talking about, even if we get our buy side area, I don't expect expansion above. Same thing with the downside, right? When this move down was happening, you guys could go back on YouTube Live. I was like, I don't expect a continuation because, like I said, it's Monday as well, and Mondays usually don't have an expansion move. And also, we were tapping into, like I said, that 4 hour PD rate. So, just waiting for this candle right here to flip inverse, and then finally right here, you guys can see that we have our candle that flipped inverse. And then I had my trade set up something like this right here. This was a high I was targeting because, like I said, those are the relative equal highs that we were targeting from the morning. If you guys want to refer to areas of liquidity, go on my Twitter, and I posted yesterday some areas of liquidity to mark out before when you trade. So it'd be like data highs, data lows, relative equal highs, relative equal lows are very good areas to get to mark for liquidity. So I want you guys to notice something in this next candle here, right, or the next candle after that. We technically closed this FEG. We closed this inverse fair value gap. We had it, and then it closed under it. I was still telling everyone this is a valid setup. Why? Because look, there's multiple bullish PD arrays sitting right there, right? One we have an inverse fair value gap, but this 5 minute right here is also an order block. Like this whole 5 minute candle right here is an order block as well. So we had multiple areas of confluence at this level. So that's why I used my stops under the previous low we made versus just the inverse gap itself. Because if we had the inverse gap itself, we most likely would have got stopped out. But in this case, we also had a order block underneath it, and that's where I used to kind of gauge my kind of move on where I want to have my stop loss at. So let's go on the 1 minute chart. So we had this sweep here, and then also you guys can see that we had this internal sweep right here as well before the actual move started back up, right? Like I said, every single move starts with a liquidity sweep, whether it's a internal or external liquidity sweep. Right? There's a reason why a lot of people, I feel like a lot of new ICD traders maybe shorted this 1 minute right here as well. Let me mark it down right here. Without realizing we're still in a 5 minute PD array, right? And that's very, very key. You gotta understand where we're coming out of. We're coming out of, obviously we flipped a lot of these candles down here inverse. We obviously have a bullish bias going into the session, the PM session, because we saw the relative equal highs, and we are bouncing from a 4 hour PD array. And then, like I said, the main thing in this trade was like, you want to understand that we are still in a bullish order block, even though the candle flipped under that inverse gap. And then I had my take profits here. The previous high we just made. And then my final area take profit was that high. And there you go. Another very, very nice trade taken. So 3 opportunities to go long, in my opinion. And all were equally, obviously this one, I feel like this one was my highest confidence trade just because of how far we were up. I just knew this is going to be a for sure trade that's going to run towards our area liquidity. This one was a little bit more riskier just because we still had some gaps up here. This one, like I said, these are all like, I would give this an A+ setup right here. I would give this an A+ setup right here, and I would give this like an A- setup here, just because it might have been a tad bit early. But like I said, usually when you have your higher time frame PD arrays, it's, you can just take them out right away and get a very solid move out of that. And like I said, I wasn't interested in downside. I closed all my longs here, and then we had our move down. Obviously, like I said, we're not going to expand most likely on a Monday, right? So I didn't expect expansion above. I didn't expect the expansion above our area of buy side. And let me actually take you guys back here, because a lot of people in the Discord actually took this trade here. They saw that buy side got swept. So let's go here. They saw that buy side got swept. And what they did was, I believe they went on the 1 minute? No, it was a 5 minute time frame. A lot of people saw this gap right here get inverted, and then they took this for a short, and they used the previous wicks down here as low resistance liquidity run, right? So you saw this as LR. They had the bottom of this marked out right here, and then they had their trade that way as well. So either way, you guys could have taken this and got a really nice move. And that's what some of the members did on their own. I didn't alert this short. I didn't even mention this short, but it's just when you come in, you show up every day, you learn on your own, and you start executing on your own, and that's overall the plan. For trading, you come in, you learn, and start fishing for yourself, and start taking trades by yourself, and be confident with those trades. So that's all I got for you guys today. Overall buys for this week, like I said, I do expect us to draw. Let's go back to the daily chart. I do expect us to draw into these highs this week. It is February seasonality, which is usually a little bit bearish. So let's see if NQ takes out these highs and ES fails to make a new high. We'll look for a bearish SMT up here and then short some of the February price action if it if it comes to that. But yeah. 800. We're probably pushing to like the 800s, right? We'll probably sweep this by like 10, 20 points, and then see what happens after that. But that is my target overall for this week. And let's see, we might get it tomorrow. We might get it Wednesday. We had a very crazy Monday. Like I didn't expect this type of price action on Monday. So let's see. Tuesday we could pick it up and maybe take out this area and put in a Tuesday high. We'll see. So I hope you guys learned from this video. Like I said, we'll be live tomorrow again on YouTube. Hope you guys are enjoying those lives, and then I'm going to get this video uploaded. This is pretty much the review and the trades that we took for today. So like I said, I hope you guys, I hope this helped you guys, and until next time, I will see you.